Hi, so I wanted to tell you a little bit of something about the recipe I'm about to show. It's basically based on super grains. So if you're one of those people that's like, what the hell is a super grain, let me explain it up to you. So I shop at Whole Foods and I get this. It's a bag of super grains, and basically it has in white and red quinoa, millet and buckwheat. So you probably heard of quinoa, and you probably heard of millet, and you heard of buckwheat. Well, if you haven't, let me explain them to you. So these three grains are really good because they've been around for a while, so your body has, adapted with the idea of being able to digest them. They also tend to have like higher levels of protein, lower levels of carb, and more fiber in them, and a whole lot of minerals that your body needs. Now, now that all the fancy stuff is out of the way, let's talk about the real deal. I grew up eating a lot of rice, like point blank. So when I was growing up in Lagos, on Sunday we would have rice and stew, and so for me, rice is one of those things that I pretty much love eating all the time. But you move away from white rice and then you go into brown rice, and brown rice is nice, but there's nothing like white rice. And so you're like, okay, I eat brown rice all the time, what else can I eat? So I started eating quinoa, and I really like quinoa. Number one, super easy to make, absorbs a lot of flavor, and also has a lot of protein in it. So from the nutrient point of view, it's really awesome, but also from the convenience point of view, it's really awesome as well. You can cook a whole bunch of it, keep it in the fridge, and just toss it into stuff as you desire. So when I was shopping at Whole Foods and I saw this bag of super grains with the red quinoa and the buckwheat and the millet, I was super excited to try it because I'm always looking for different things to eat, but I can be a bit picky. So having that quinoa in there that I was already familiar with and I kind of liked, made it super awesome. So the first time I had it, I had it with za'atar, which is a Middle Eastern spice blend. That's a whole nother conversation. I would link you to the blog post that I did on that particular recipe on the first time I had super grain. So if you want to see that, you can go to my blog. The address is going to be down below. But anyway, so I had it the first time, and then I was having it for like, I don't know, a month, 2 months, because I really fell in love with it. I love the taste of it, and I was having it for lunch at work. And all of a sudden they stopped carrying it at the store I shop at, and I was like really super disappointed because I was like, oh my god, you guys don't have super grain. And everyone looking at me like, oh my god, what's she talking about? But one day I go back to the store and they have super grain on the shelf, so I bought a whole lot of it. I bought like 3 or 4 bags because I'm like, just in case you don't have it again, I want to have enough in the house to eat. So anyway, the super grain mix, I keep it in the house because it's really convenient to make. It doesn't go for more than like 20 minutes to get the grain, well cooked and tender. And also, like I said, it's pretty much like quinoa. You can make a lot of it, keep it in your fridge, and use it throughout the week if you so desire. Some people even use it to make breakfast. They put in like coconut milk in it and they have it for breakfast. But I usually just have it for lunch and for dinner. And one of the reasons why I decided to make this particular recipe today is because it's been warming up in Boston where I live a lot. So I'm finding that like with summer, when it comes around, I don't like cooking much and I still have to eat. So I tend to eat a lot of fruit and vegetable, but you still need to eat your grains because you need to get like all kinds of nutrients. But I don't want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and this thing is really good for that. So I basically just make the super grain and then I chop up my vegetables and I make like a stir fry, and literally the stir fry takes about, I don't know, like 10 minutes, if even 10 minutes, but it takes about 10 minutes. It's a really quick, easy recipe, and you're good to go. And you can so what I do, if you're like me and you end up eating pretty much the same thing every day of the week because you're too lazy to cook when you come back from work, I make a whole bunch of the super grain and then I chop up my vegetables and I keep it in the fridge. So when I come home, all I have to do is just put a pan on, a little bit of oil, toss in some vegetables, toss in the grains, and then you get like shrimp. One big tip of the day: buy frozen shrimp and keep it in your freezer. It's one of the best proteins you can have, quick to defrost, and relatively cheap if you buy like smaller sizes and you buy it frozen instead of fresh. And I just put in shrimp, and the shrimp is not even hard to defrost. All you have to do is either take it out the night before when you're using one batch, take it out the next nice batch before, put it in your fridge, and then it will defrost. Or if you're forgetful like I am, I just come home from work, I take out my bag of shrimp, I take out however much I need because it tends to be like, you know, loose in there, pop it under hot water for like 2 minutes in my sink, and I'm good to go. So I basically, that's what I have for dinner a lot. Super grains with like vegetables and shrimp. And that's what you're about to watch me making this recipe for you. I hope you enjoy it. It's one of my favorite recipes. It's really quick and easy to eat and pretty nutritious from what I've been learning about it. So thank you very much for watching the video, and let me know how you enjoyed the recipe. I am certainly loving mine. So bye. To start the cooking process, I'm going to add half a cup of super grain mix into the pan, and I'm just going to toast it lightly until it gets a fragrant smell that is very nutty. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in 1.5 cups of water into the pan. The direction on the pack says you should use 1 to 2, so 1 cup of grain to 2 cups of water, but I use more than that for half a cup because I just find that that's the amount I need in order to get the grain really fluffy. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover it and cook it for 20 minutes. And while that's going on, I'm going to start chopping my vegetables. So what you're looking at here is 3 cups of corn that I have taken the kernels off, and also 4 sticks of celery that I have chopped finely. So that comes out to about 1.5 cups of corn and 1 cup of celery. I'm also chopping 2 cloves of garlic as well to add into the mix, and just opening up 3 chili peppers to season up the oil. Because I'm not finely chopping the chili, it's not going to be too hot in there. But if you're someone that does not like spicy food, go ahead and reduce the amount of chili in the recipe, or just omit it completely if you are more comfortable that way. I'm also going to be using half a pound of shrimp. This is my previously frozen shrimp that I have just defrosted. In a hot pan, I'm going to add in 1.5 tablespoons of sesame oil. I prefer to cook my stir fry with either sesame oil or peanut oil because it just adds more flavor into the mix, and also because I like to heat things up really high when I'm doing a stir fry. I'm not afraid that the oil will burn. So to start, I'm just going to add the chili peppers in there to season the oil, and once it's really hot, I'm going to go ahead and pour in my celery and corn. And the reason why I add them in at the same time is because it's so nicely chopped to the same size, so I'm not afraid of anything being undercooked or overcooked because of bad timing. And this is a stir fry, so you're going to be stirring continuously throughout the cooking process. I stir the vegetables for like 2 minutes before I add in my super grain that has been fully cooked into the pan. If it's someone that does not have access to super grain, you can also use quinoa or rice or millet or buckwheat for this recipe. And I just stir that grain and vegetable mix for another 2 minutes before I finally add in my shrimp. The last thing I add when I'm making stir fry is shrimp, because shrimp cooks real quickly and can overcook real quickly as well. So I just keep stir frying this for another 3 to 4 minutes until I start to notice that my pink has turned that I notice that my shrimp has turned pink. At that point, I know that my food is ready to go and I can go ahead and enjoy it. So go ahead and try this recipe. Let me know how it goes. This is what mine looks like. I really like when food looks colorful. And yeah, enjoy it, and happy beginning of summer to you. Bye now.